introduce is our brother Charles Okotie. Brother Charles is in Abuja, does ministry in Abuja. He will he will tell us a brief about what he does for ministry and how he engages technology. Brother Charles, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Brother Laulu.
Beautiful,
Thank you. Thank you
beautiful.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Also, on the panel, we have our brother Moses Afolabi. Brother Moses is joining us from Lagos, from our Lagos studio. Brother Moses Afolabi, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, it's good afternoon from here and good morning to you, Brother Laulu. Great to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Brother Moses. We also have our brother Victor Matthew. Brother Victor, can you hear us?
Very well, very well.
Yes, good. Brother Victor, where are you joining us from? I forgot to ask the other time.
Akwa Ibom.
Oh,
Ibom,
Brother
South
Victor
of
is joining us from Akwa Ibom. Thank you so very much, sir. And this is just the beauty of technology. We can have people from all over the world, from all over the place, join the sessions. And we're so glad. We're so glad that we can do this. I also have a few other of my panelists that I just lost now. And as they join the studio, I will introduce them as well. Um, okay, so let's just get started. I would like to follow up with Bert Charles, and maybe I'll come back to you, but Victor. The one of the reasons he said was historically when technology comes out, when there's a new technology, the bad boys hijack it or they use it. I mean, so those technologies, they are the first adopters, and that's what historically it has been. So you see all sorts of content online today, and we still struggle with that. That's still a challenge. Like if you go to Facebook now and you say, let me see my reels, before I see one Christian content, I probably would have already seen some 10 other non-godly content. I want to ask you about creating Christian content, Bro Charles. What I mean, how can believers, I mean, we've heard these messages in these past 4 days. How can we make creative, godly content that will still keep the standard of godliness and the church life, and people will still be blessed? How can we? Yeah, I know this is a very organized, intense conference. It's a 4 day conference. It doesn't have to be this type of conference all the time. Are there content, little things, snippets that people can do, that we can publish and put out there that will still help to build God's church? But Charles, what are your thoughts?
All right, thank you, Brother Laulu. Thank you very much for that question. The truth remains that if you are not safe, you cannot be brought into the position to save others. If you have not been brought into the church, you can't bring others into the church. You can't give what you don't have. That must be established. If you are not born again, you are not part of the glorious church that have the interest and can attract heaven and can have the life to actually affect others. If you have not first been a child of God, it will be difficult for you to do the task we are talking about. There is an opportunity. The internet is an opportunity for a child of God that is already grounded in the Word of God, that is already a believer, that is already a disciple of Jesus, to take advantage and use this opportunity to bring the intended church into the mind of God. Actually, just like you said while you were introducing this panel of discussion, we discovered that God has an intention, and if Jesus was alive, he also will have used the internet. If Paul was alive, they will have used the internet. If these men had opportunity to see the internet in their time, they will have had this privilege of using it. Like men in their own time that use writing, publishing books,
Yes.
all those facilities were easy for them to use. So I want us to know that one of the ways by which we can harness this privilege and opportunity that God has given to us is to first have a correct lifestyle as one who is part of the glorious church, and is to first have a correct lifestyle, correct understanding of the purpose of God and the reason why you must use it. If this is not properly defined in our hearts, it will be difficult to get involved and even to create godly content. The opportunities abound in many of the different internet platforms, Telegram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all these platforms are there available. And the people that are behind the use of these platforms, they are human beings. It's not first a spirit that is there. They are human beings. So this can be used to reach out to them, can be used to affect them, and can be used to cultivate the church life. If a man's life is not correct, he cannot engage into these tasks. And even your content will not be biblical, will not have what it takes to affect others. Like for instance, in the Telegram, you can create a Telegram platform where you can have several people from different denominations, different languages, different background coming together to fellowship together. And it can be used to raise disciples for Jesus. And it can be used to further arrange opportunities where one can come together to have physical fellowships. So I think I'll just need to pause there for now.
Yeah, but Charles, I want to pivot a bit to I know you have been you labor with teaching and helping young people, and maybe even old people, I suppose, to learn to adopt technology. And my question is, how easy is it really? Because sometimes people are just scared. Like, I can't use any of this application. How easy is it to engage technology? Brother Hilary used the word for me before this call that I am the techie person. I'm like, me? I'm not any techie. I don't even know any of these things. I mean, that's the general feeling. People are like, it's difficult. I don't know it. I can't use it. What's your experience? I know you teach people. So tell us, how easy is it to adopt these things?
All right. Thank you, Brother Laolu. Just like we are saying, and I will still stand on that point, you can't give what you don't have. This thing takes time. If you just like we asked Brother Hilary, if you ask him to explain further all that he has been doing online, you will know that it takes hours, it takes time, and it takes resources. That's the truth. So and if you don't have it, if you don't have a correct life, you will not have what it takes to go out and begin to raise disciples for Jesus. Not everybody can venture into this kind of labor. It's because him himself, he has first become a disciple. That is why he can see the reason why the Lord can use him to begin to raise disciples for Jesus Christ. So he has first learned to be taught. He said in Matthew 11, verse 28, 29, 30. We are looking at that in our platform. He said, "Come unto me, all ye that are labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest." He now said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me." There is that missing link of learn of me. It's so very, very shallow, just like what Brother Victor has said. We don't learn. People don't read any longer. People don't settle down to be trained. People don't settle down to be taught. People are not apprenticed. We have a platform now. Let me just announce it. It's a platform for raising cyber missionaries and disciples for the end time battles. But you see that kind of platform, you don't see a lot of people there. It's just there. We do it quietly and secretly. It's not everything that is shown online. I mean, we display online. You understand? We have people that are two young guys that are always running training with me every Tuesday and Friday. Though it's a physical meeting, though we have the online meeting where we run training for people on how to design memes, Christian memes, little pictures. If you go to my Facebook, you'll see so many of such, just little graphic, Canva and Pixel Lab. You just used to design beautiful things that people can, Facebook is actually picture. Facebook is picture. It's meant to display faces, to capture pictures. So if you can design little things like that that can capture people's attention, they will read it. They will read it. And if we can trust the Lord to help us in understanding how to be taught first and foremost, and that is discipleship. Once you surrender yourself to be discipled, you have been enrolled into apprenticeship. And this is where Christian content is lacking, where we have little people that are involved in it. A lot of people, even if look at me, sometimes people are looking at me. Many people thought I'm much younger, but when you see me with gray hair and you be wondering, this man is knowing all these kind of things. What will it take you? It's just about giving yourself to learning. It's giving yourself you can learn at any age. You can learn at any time of your life. If you are willing and intentional, you are deliberate enough to learn. It took me sometimes hours into the night. I sleep sometimes 2 o'clock learning how to use a particular app. There are several apps. There are several softwares, you can download into your laptop and begin to learn how to use it. Photoshop, you can learn them by yourself. There are so many things in YouTube you can settle down. People don't know because they have not given themselves to submitting themselves to learn. If you are not a learner, like they say, you cannot be a good teacher. If you are not an apprentice, you can never be a master. If you are not a disciple, you can never rise up one day and begin to teach men. When Jesus called the disciples, he first called them to be with him, to learn, and that he might send them. Sending them is after they have been taught, they have been trained. How many of us are giving ourselves to learning? How many of us are saying, okay, for instance, just what you said, learning how to compress messages, bring messages, edit it, cut out those, that's what we are doing in this program. We cut out some unnecessary things and just package them together and export them out, and now use just 2 or 3 apps can be used to form something that will be of benefit to the body of Christ. So it takes time, it takes devotion, it takes training. We give ourselves to this training. Sometimes I had to learn how to use YouTube. I had to learn and pay. I pay somebody to learn how to use YouTube, how to create thumbnails, and they have so many terms in YouTube that many people don't know about. How to create content in YouTube, many people don't know about it. They don't know about the YouTube studio. They don't know how to monetize even their YouTube. So many things that a lot of people don't know. Even when we are talking about the issue of TikTok, if you have so trained yourself, we have people who are missionaries and they endanger their lives to go and preach to prostitutes. There are people like that. There are preachers like that have such call that can venture into Muslim communities and places to go and share the gospel, take the gospels there. Even the TikTok, we can harness it. We can begin to throw what you want to. Something like TikTok. When I go to TikTok, I just do what I want to do and I go out. I go off. You don't go there to be looking and be reading, because you know it has been crowded with ungodly content. So what you do is go there, drop your own, and you move. Drop your own and you move. And as such, if 10 of us, as we are talking now, invade TikTok, before you know what is happening, there will be the frequency. Is all about frequency. It's all about consistency. It's all about time, how you use your time. That's all we're talking about. But you must be trained. Very, very core truth is that you must be trained, because you can't give what you don't have.
Wow. Thank you so much, bro. But that was very, very, that was a very passionate one. And I mean, you opened my eyes to some things that I probably would not have thought before, that we can raise cyber missionaries, you called it?
Yeah. Cyber missionaries.
Cyber missionaries, people who are specifically trained to reach people in the cyberspace.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I've never thought of, and you know, I work in technology. I work in payment technology, and cyber is massive. I mean, the emphasis and the investment going on in cybersecurity, ensuring that the cyberspace is safe, is a lot of investment. And they will tell you the jobs of the future is in the cyberspace. To now think that the church is not intentional in building capacity in that space. And that was what you just said, that we need to begin to train, and anybody can be that. We all can be, you know, learning to use memes. You know, I love what you also said. You know, these applications, Facebook, Instagram, those apps are originally designed for pictures. So why can't we have the scriptures put in there, and then we have a voiceover? You know, I mean, short reels. Also understanding our audience. I love that point that you made about understanding your audience. People in this generation, you know, I think it was Bro Victor that talked about it. Very short attention span. You know, people are not committed to, they can't do anything long. So understand that that's the culture that we are in now, and develop content that's specific to that age group. Very serious things that you're saying here. Thank you so much.